Hi there! In a world where nothing is certain, that means anything is possible, right? If you want to fulfill your dreams and desires, you are in the right place. You absolutely can have a life of happiness. Everyone deserves an abundance of love, laughter, success, health, and wealth. I'm Tara Chadzakis, and you're listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. The show that brings you meditation, mindset, and motivation. So start by giving yourself permission to be awesome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi there, and welcome to this week's episode of Happy, Inspired, Motivated. Now today I have a beautiful guest with me. Her name is Beth. She's originally from Yorkshire. She's the same place as me, which makes her absolutely amazing. She has a passion for healthy home-cooked food, which has led her to go down a different path to what she was actually planning on going down in the first place. So over lockdown, she started up an online blog which focuses on giving people inspiration for plant-based cooking, so vegan food, things like that. And she shares recipes, nutritional wellness tips. And that's something that she wasn't planning on doing until COVID hit last year. Now, Beth's sort of seen herself taking this route because she's been on furlough for most of the year, well, most of 2020 anyway. And so she did a vegan cooking course, and that sort of led to her interest in wellness and food photography. And then she went on to study to become a nutritionist, and she created what we call the positive pantry. So what started as a pandemic pastime has evolved into a full-time hobby, and it has the potential for a future business. She's actually getting a website created at the moment, and she's hoping to step into this role further in the future. In the meantime, she actually works at a place called UKSA, which is just down the road from where I live here, although I haven't met Beth through there. And she's based on the Isle of Wight, the same as me. And UKSA is a large UK sailing charity academy, and it helps students and people from across the globe have an experience of the water sports industry and sailing and basic water sports, and getting them out into nature and getting them involved, and to get them to come out of their shell and get them more positive and confident in themselves. Some of these students may come from like very urban areas, so they're not used to being to have the sea so accessible to them. So it's a great experience for those students that do get involved in that. At the moment, Beth's main focus is on finishing her nutrition studies and also perfecting, she likes to say, her breakfast range. So if you wanted to check out Beth's tasty recipes and nutritional advice, you can find her on Instagram, and her Instagram handle is @positive.pantry. So without further ado, let me introduce the amazing Beth, and let's get to know her a little bit better. Hi, Beth. I'm so glad you decided to join us today on the Happy, Inspired, Motivated. How are you today?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Tara. Thank you so much for having me. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm really, really excited to be here. Really excited about it.
It's so excited to have you on. I mean, I can't believe that you live not far from me, and I've never met you. And also you're from Yorkshire, so you've got to be totally amazing.
Good northern stock.
Whereabouts are you from originally then?
I'm from just outside of Leeds, and sort of migrated down south with work. So one thing sort of led to another, and here I am on the Isle of Wight. I couldn't be further from Yorkshire.
No, I actually went to Leeds University. So I know that's crazy, isn't it? I was literally around the corner from you. And then I went off to Greece for 12 years and then came to the island. So yeah, I managed to find my way down south as well.
Excellent.
It is a nice place to live though, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely. I don't think I thought back and forward, because all my family is still in Yorkshire, and a little bit of you always sort of wonders whether you'd like to migrate back home, but I just don't think that I could ever not live by the sea again.
That's the big thing for me. Yeah,
gorgeous, isn't it? It's just on our doorstep. And
Mm.
they all love coming here on holiday now. So it's a
So yeah,
win-win.
you've got to stay here.
Yeah,
You've got to keep the hotel open.
absolutely.
So how did you get into working for UKSA? Because that's not what you were doing originally, is it?
No, so I guess I'll start at the beginning. So I when I was about 17, applied to work for an outdoor activity company.
Mm.
I really wanted to do something different. I'd already by that point worked in restaurants, I'd worked in office, I'd done a little bit of trying to
Yeah.
figure out what I wanted to do. And I always just love being outdoors a bit more than that. So I applied to work for an outdoor activity company. When I just turned 18, I qualified and went off and worked in the UK around and abouts. And then I started working abroad. And I progressed through the activities, decided what I wanted to specialise in, and then God, I did that till I was about 25.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sort of stayed in the activity sector. Now I met my other half, moved to the Isle of Wight, and then wanted obviously to get a job as soon as possible. So sort of had a little look in my niche areas, and
Yeah.
the closest thing that I could find on the island that I would have known about from a water sports background was sailing. So I applied for a number of jobs on the island. I had interviews for about 2 weeks, but there was something about UKSA and the sort of it's a youth charity. So I know you know a little bit about it, Tara, already. But it sort of stood out for me for something that was a bit different. It
Yeah.
wasn't just an office job. You know what I mean? You had a
Yeah.
reason to show up every day because what you did affected somebody else. And I thought,
Mm.
I'm gonna go for it, and I did, and I'm really glad I did. It was probably one of the best moves I've made. I've been working there 5 years now,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant place to work.
I do like it. It has a great atmosphere. And the staff are all like they're like a family, aren't they? It's really nice. And they do care. They
Absolutely,
care about all the students that come, which is really important. Yeah.
yeah, it is. And I think in my particular sector, my job's pretty far and wide. We've had to split it onto two business cards now because it doesn't quite fit onto one, which is working for a charity in itself. And I sort of look after the professional sector. So there's a bit of circle of life that happens in the industry, which is quite nice, and I've sort of got to know as the job's progressed. Um, my professional sector students, so we're talking about captains, anyone on sort of super yachts in a more professional role,
Yeah.
they actually will hire our entry level students that come through. I mean, some of them come through as teens, they come through as an alternative to college. We've got fully
Yeah.
funded programs, and these guys who work in seemingly completely different worlds actually end up meeting the youngsters and then they pull them back up the chain. So it doesn't actually matter whether you're in the commercial sector, whether you're
Yeah.
in the water sports bit, they all sort of interconnect, which is it's lovely, but that does mean that every single cog of UKSA works in the same clock and
Yeah.
everyone understands that. And there's not many organisations that you'll work for where your entire workforce kind of understand that mechanism. So
Mm-hmm.
that's lovely. That is really nice,
Yeah.
sort of understanding that.
Good. Good. But you've been on furlough, obviously, because there's not really much going on in the water sports industry at the moment, or there hasn't
No.
been since last year. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing during lockdown and furlough and being, well, stuck
Yeah.
basically at home.
Basically, yeah. I mean, it's something that's just brand new to everybody, isn't it? This is
Yeah.
something that none of us have ever experienced in our lifetime. And you probably will get a feel for that already. I'm not the kind of person who can just sit still and do nothing.
Yeah.
Um, and because my job's so fast paced, and if I'm not doing this, I'm doing a bit of this, and I do a bit of business development, and I do lots of different things.
Yeah.
So then to go on furlough full time, which happened May, I didn't know what to do, if I'm completely honest. So I'd gone from this like crazy busy 9 to 5 job, which actually most of the time is more sort of 8 to 6,
Mm.
to having all this time on my hands. But if I'm honest, it is a gift that I will never take for granted.
Yeah.
Having that time to sort of stop and breathe
Mm.
makes you realise what you're actually interested in and where your passions
Yeah,
lie.
definitely.
And I mean, I've not been out the kitchen once, I don't think, since last May.
Just for today, just for
I
this
know.
interview.
And it does sort of occur to you, oh, I really like this. So I signed up to do a plant-based cooking course to
Hmm.
sort of
Yeah.
keep me busy. It was over 4 weeks. It was brilliant.
Are you actually a vegan
Um,
anyway or vegetarian?
yeah, so I basically a couple of years ago found out that I couldn't have egg or dairy.
Oh,
So
okay.
then so then my diet has just gradually progressed over a certain,
Yeah.
I would say probably over about 3 years now, that must have been. And all of a sudden, when you eat out, a natural reaction would be to order the vegan menu. Now, way back when, I say way back when, it was a few years ago now, but a lot's come on since then. That option was usually bread or a side salad. I mean, living on the
Yeah.
Isle of Wight, you can only imagine.
Yeah.
It was. I basically just if we went out, we just lived on dry chip butties, and it was
Nice.
yeah, interesting to navigate. So I sort of found a passion immediately that
Yeah.
food can be exciting. I am a northern girl who likes food to be food. I can't live on salad. That's not who I am. And I'm still on the quest for the perfect vegan Yorkshire pudding, which
Oh,
is
don't.
a
We made
nightmare.
them on Sunday. They were horrendous. They were
Oh,
absolutely
you
disgusting.
just, my soul dies every time it
I
comes out.
know.
From being somebody who could make a monster, they come out and you think this is the closest to elated I think I'll ever feel in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Oh, off every time. So yeah, I guess my diet sort of progressed most certainly into that area for over the last 3 years. So it's certainly not just happened overnight. Which I think for a lot of people find a lot easier. I get people message me through my channel saying, "Oh, Beth, where do I start? I really want to make a
Mhm.
difference." And the first and only thing I would say to anybody is probably my biggest thing about this is don't feel like you need to change the world. Like
No.
if you go 20% vegan and just input one meal into your diet, not only will you feel better, you'll be making the difference that you're looking to make. And do it
Mhm.
gradually. I feel like people can put so much pressure on themselves sometimes, and that's how they fail.
Yeah, yeah, they do, definitely.
But actually, if you've got a bit of an end goal, do it little by little, and you
Mhm.
might find that a lot of people will go 80% or they'll go 50%, and that's okay for them. And
Yeah.
that actually really works very well over time, because ultimately, if 50% of people go 50% plant based, then I know that they can make really decent food doing that.
Yeah.
Then everyone's a winner. So I would, yeah,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of my page is about is
Mm.
about balance.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm working with clients, I always say if you do like one thing, just one step every day, by the end of the year, you've got 365 steps that you've changed and made a difference to yourself. You can't
Yeah,
do all those 300 in one day. It's got to be
impossible.
gradual. And it's more
Yeah.
sustainable that way as well, isn't it?
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Most so. I certainly over the last 3 years, you don't even think about what you're doing now because
Mm.
it's gradual. I mean, the first time I had vegan cheese, it was disgusting. I couldn't believe what was put in front of me. So my advice to everybody trying to do this is don't eat the cheese. Just don't.
It has got
Bring it in
progressively
very
better.
gradually.
It
It
has got
has got
better. It does
progressively. It
actually
has got
melt
progressively.
most of it now. It used to just look like shards of rubber on your plate.
It was awful. It was awful. But it has got marginally better, you're quite right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I did
But yeah,
veganuary
so,
about 3 years ago, and I was disgusted by the cheese as
oh
well.
my gosh. Well, a lot of my page at the moment has been vegan stuff. So I really think if you can find replacements for things that
Mm.
don't feel like replacements, a big thing that I did was I tried when I was trying to cut out meat from my meals, I wasn't having fake meat. I was
Yeah.
having vegetables and stuff, so it felt like a different meal.
Yeah.
Because if in my head, if I'm trying to compare tofu and chicken, they just do not compare in any way,
No,
shape, or form. And I think
no.
that's where the fail comes from. Whereas if I was just cooking really nice vegetables in really nice ways, it felt like a completely different dinner.
Yeah.
But I do think vegan food has come along a very, very long way.
Yes, I did struggle. I think I only got vegan sausage rolls. Or not vegan sausage rolls, vegan sausages the first time around, and some cheese and lots of tofu, which is
Yeah.
not very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's just so much. There's so many recipes and cookbooks and stuff. Hi, I'm Tara Chadzakis, and I'm interrupting my podcast to tell you about the new program, the Overnight Success Academy. If you're aged between 35 and 55 and you're looking to start your own business, then this is for you. Brand new Overnight Success Academy is actually in its beta phase at the moment, which means it comes to you at a highly reduced rate and includes 3 months of one-to-one private support within the price. Taking you through 3 pillars to success, looking at clarity, which is your mindset, looking at focus, which is your business model, and looking at action, which is your social media, getting visible, taking you from idea to fully functioning business in 3 months. If this sounds like something for you, send me a message, tara@tarachatzakis.com via email, and we'll have a chat to see how I can help you. Now back to the show. So anyway, we digressed, don't we? So you did a cooking course.
It's
sorry.
my fault. Sarah, I could talk to you about this all day.
Well, I don't know how long we can make the podcast last, but
No.
we're in for 24 hours. So you did a nutrition course on vegan.
Yes. Yeah. So I did. So I did the cooking course, and I realised that a lot of the stuff I enjoyed about the cooking course was the science. I loved actually learning properly, not just home cooking, because home cooking can be bung it in a pot and hope for the best most of the time. And I actually learned the percentages of food and how you can completely change a plate by putting in different percentages, by changing the percentages. Mm-hmm. And then nutritionally, what that does for your body and how you can feel different, how you can look different, you know, how you can help your skin. Like there's so many different components, and it was way more complex than I'd sort of given it credit for.
Yeah.
So after I'd done the 4-week course, it was coming to the end of the sort of 3.5 weeks, I realised exactly what it was that I really enjoyed about putting food on a plate, and it was that. So I had a shop around and thought, I don't know how long I'm going to be on furlough for. I would like to keep doing something that's going to keep me interested and potentially give me something to back up with, you know, later down the line, I might want to change my career. At the time, that's all it was. You know, I just thought, I want to do something that's keeping me busy. And I thought I'm going to go for it. So I signed up to do a course in nutrition that specialises then in lots of different things. So I've completed my level 3. And I'm now doing my sort of bolt-on modules to specialise. So I'm just finishing sports and exercise nutrition. I'll go into pre and postnatal, vegan and plant-based. So it's very, very widespread. It's not specifically just in vegan and plant-based, but naturally a big bit of my interest is there, and sort of how you can still balance your plate with just plants. And actually, there's a lot of myth busting. You know, there's a lot of plants out there that give you more proteins than meats can, you know,
rubbish,
more B12, you know, how can it ever be? And I just find it so interesting. You know, I'm not somebody who's ever going to sort of chuck loads of scientific words down your throat. While I understand them, I really appreciate it, and I've come from somebody who doesn't understand them. So I've never been engaged in nutrition from a scientific level, because I can't understand what they're all saying half the time. So how can I expect to talk like that myself and expect people, you know, to understand?
Yeah, if you can simplify it, it's a gift, isn't it? Yeah, you've got to be able to.
Absolutely. I'm a no-nonsense person, and I'm black and white as it is. So I feel like eventually, once I'm qualified, it'd be really nice to put some of that out. And that's what goes out on my channel at the moment. It's simplified. This is great for you. Eat a bit, see how you feel, you know. This is why it's good for you, because it keeps your tummy happy. I just don't think the nation is ready to hear, you know, about macro nutrients every single day, because half the nation don't know what they are yet.
It doesn't interest me. I wouldn't look at a packet of something and think, oh, that's a nice macronutrient. And I need some of that. I'd be like, well, that'd probably be good for my belly. Or like you say, my stomach would enjoy that. It'd make some good gut bacteria. So I'll eat it.
Exactly. And that's not taken away from anyone out there who does, you know, really specialise in that, because we've got dietitians out there and it's their job, to work alongside the NHS and to do that. But currently, where I am in my journey is not there, and I'm embracing that completely.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. I get a lot of messages, like I said before, from people who ask me outright, should I do this? How do I do this? How do I incorporate this? And I guess at that time, it's really nice to know that they're approaching me because I'm approachable, because they'll know I'll say, put down the chocolate and pick
Why
up
would
an
you say that?
apple,
Sorry,
but
why
not
would you
every
say
day.
that? I was gonna say.
Because on Fridays, Tara, we pick the chocolate back up.
When do we put it down again? Sorry.
Oh, Thursday.
That's all right then. I'm panicking then. Oh God, I'm missing something.
Little and often, everything in moderation.
Exactly. Well, exactly. If you had one cube of chocolate a day, you wouldn't die, would you?
No, absolutely not. And it's actually quite good for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. Is it a macro or a micro?
Exactly.
It's good for you anyway. It tastes good.
Yes, it certainly does.
Yeah, and plant-based chocolate is dark chocolate, isn't it? So
Yeah, and I tend to steer away from sort of vegan chocolates. I've had a few that are quite nice, but I actually like dark chocolate and raw chocolate. And if you eat it in that sort of form, its nutritional benefit is actually great. If you eat a little bit in the morning, it can help you sleep, for example. It helps metabolism. There's so many actual benefits for it. That's a big thing about actually that started with the cooking course, is really understanding and myth busting what each individual food can do for you at different times of the day and stuff. It's really interesting.
that is really cool, actually. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And we have tried vegan chocolate, like you're saying. It's not. My mum bought some for because my middle daughter's vegan. My other two are vegetarian.
Yeah.
So she bought some vegan chocolate for us to try, and we were just eating it, and we were like,
Texture, Tara.
just this. You couldn't taste chocolate. You could taste what was in it, like the salted caramel or something. But where's the chocolate? There's
Funny, isn't it? Because it tastes so processed. That's what I try and avoid with some vegan stuff. And just there's a misconception that because it's vegan, it's healthy. I fell into it, when I first found out my dietary requirement. I just had a house full of processed stuff, and I would never have eaten that in the first place.
No.
But it's a really easy trap to fall into. But yeah, for something that's supposed to be quite, for it to taste more processed than non-vegan chocolate, I think is to be avoided.
Yes, it is. Like you said, dark chocolate it's always been vegan, and we found crazy things like Bisto was vegan.
I know. Good
and
day.
It's like, that was a good find. But then you get some brands that put milk in it. You're like, what the heck? Why'd you put milk in gravy?
Well, isn't it amazing how many things have got milk in?
My
Crisps.
God, crisps, bread, all sorts of stuff.
Why?
Why?
It doesn't need milk. I don't know.
I know. We got some body wash the other day and we looked at that. It's got whey in it. Why?
Why?
I don't
It's so
Cleopatra. I don't want to be bathing in milk.
Brilliant.
We've progressed a bit since then, but maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not. Apparently not. Oh dear.
Yeah, you do a lot of so link to your Instagram page, which I've said before, it's positive.pantry, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You have a lot of links to plant-based alternatives, and you give a lot of discount codes as well.
Yeah.
So you said is it Coconut Collaborative you've just started with? That is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really nice actually. And I actually hoped we'd touch on this a little bit, because I guess people come at things from different angles. One thing that I put out a lot, and I try and sort of help, I'm going to call it a following because that's what people know it as, but I really hate the word followers. I much prefer to see my page as a bit of a community. It's an awful word, but I try and put out that it doesn't benefit me in any way if somebody uses my code. There are a lot of people out there. Absolutely. And there are a lot of sort of bloggers out there who do pay commission, and they do sort of more paid advertising. I've done paid campaigns, but I only use discount codes on brands that I really believe in. I
Mm,
tried, tested, and I really enjoyed using or eating or whatever it is.
mm.
Um, so I've been really lucky enough to be approached by a number of brands over the last oh God, I don't even know how many months it is now. I started the page back July, August time.
Yeah.
Um, and I've worked with a number of different brands, Creative Nature, different chocolate brands, product brands, and yes, so my most recent and arriving this week is a hamper from the Coconut Collaborative, which are one of my favourite
Ooh, exciting.
vegan dairy, I say dairy provider,
Can they
which is
send me
really
one as well? Because
exciting.
I really like them. Give them my address as well.
And they're lovely, aren't they? And
Yeah, they are.
stuff like that really excites me because you don't gain anything. You're not locked into posting about it. Brands will, or they certainly have contacted me and asked me to try it because I'm quite honest in my review. And 9 times out of 10, if I don't like it, I will feed back. I don't tend to put all that sort of stuff on my page.
No.
Um, Not unless I've sort of been asked about it or I've been asked to do an honest review.
Mm.
And that's the only sort of time that will happen. But it's exciting for me to have a parcel delivered and I need to get my thinking cap on. And recipe development is just something that I've been really, really enjoying. So I've got that coming this week. I've got a parcel from a brand called Rubies in the Rubble, and
Oh,
they
we had
have
some of their stuff, their mayo at Christmas. Mayo,
yes,
yeah, it was so
yeah.
good. Yeah.
And I haven't tried it yet, so that's on its way. It's coming two parts. So I've got a variety of mayos. There's a ketchup and some relish,
Yeah, we had a relish
and
one
that
as well.
yeah, so that's quite a big challenge because I mean, where do you go with that recipe wise? But I've got some notes, so that's sort of where I collaborate with different brands. It's generally on recipe development and sort of honest product
Yeah.
reviews. And thankfully, my little community believe what I say, because I'm guessing I am quite honest. I wouldn't say this is brilliant if it's not. Um, and they sort of engage, and I get lots of messages saying, thanks so much for recommending this. We're loving it, and that's
Good.
really nice. It's
Yeah.
for me that's a network. It's introducing the right people to the right people,
Yeah.
and that's sort of how I see those collaborations. But I'm very excited for my coconut collaborative to arrive also.
I bet you are, God. So you're going to be starting up a website that's coming soon. So
Yes.
what's going to be
Yeah.
the main focus of your website? Is it going to be giving nutritional um plans maybe, or is it going to be purely recipe based, or a bit of everything? What's the idea behind it?
So at the moment, it feels like quite a progressive step. I really enjoy blog writing as it is. For
Hmm.
me, Instagram isn't a place for that. It's a place to keep it shorter. I put my food photography on there. It's a great place to showcase that. A little blurb, but really like recipes, easy recipes that anyone can do
Yeah.
with swaps they can make with anything in the cupboard. And that's a really great place, but it has to be short and snappy for me. Even I won't go through and read scrolls and scrolls and scrolls of
Yeah.
posts. That doesn't mean that I don't really enjoy chatting, you may have noticed. So the blog page for me is a place where I can showcase my recipes, where
Hmm.
people can sort of get them more from a library view, and a place that I can write about my experience, write about my life, my recipes, my
Oh,
nutrition, a place to sort of share that. So that's where it's going to start. I mean, obviously, I've got some sort of end goals now in sight with Positive Pantry, and it's I found over the
exciting.
summer, it's so exciting. Sometimes you don't even see what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Um, and these things don't just fall in your lap. I found a notepad a couple of days ago that I'd had from over the summer, and I'd been writing out different names for my blog.
Yeah.
Some of them are dreadful, but yes, they are. But and I'd really tried to map out what it was that I was about, what it was before I'd launched it. And I am a bit like that. I'm a bit meticulous. Like the website won't go live until it's ready. But I am really excited about it. I am really excited about it, and it is in progress.
Excellent. It's exciting to see what you bring to the table. I mean, what you're doing so far is really good, and
Thank you.
I just sort of happened across it
Yeah.
upon it, and it was just, yeah, I mean, the pictures are really vibrant as well, and they make me feel healthy just looking at the pictures. I could be
Burgers
healthy if
can be
I ate that.
healthy.
Yeah, I could be healthy if I eat that. Yeah, maybe not. I'll stick to the chocolate. No, I don't. Yeah, like I say, we eat quite a lot of vegan food anyway, so it's always great. And I do follow now quite a lot of vegan
Yeah.
cooks, or whatever you want to call them, on Instagram, because it's a great place for inspiration.
It's such a great place for inspiration, and we actually a large base of my following is the people I'm following, sorry, are also vegan food bloggers, or food bloggers. You know, you can draw inspiration from anyone in any niche.
Yeah.
And we do tend to draw inspiration from each other, and it's really lovely because you do sort of get in a little community of people. So there's, you know, a good handful of names that you recognise.
Yeah.
You get tagged in a lot, and that conversation starts happening. You do just feel like you're in a constant conversation. If someone's doing something that you'll like, it's really nice because they tag in it. You'll be great at this, you know, give this a go, and that's really nice.
That's good.
But yes, it's not just people who aren't on there blogging, I guess. So we all kind of feed from each other, which is really nice.
Cool. Well, it's really exciting. I can't wait to see what you do. So if people want to find you, at the moment, it's only on Instagram.
Yeah. So we're just on Instagram at the moment, which is positive.pantry. All my recipes are on there. As I said, the website's launching soon, and that will go on to my Instagram once that's launched. And then eventually, hopefully, I'll be providing some products of my own.
Oh my God, that's really cool. That is really cool, actually. Yeah. But for now, people can get discount codes through your Instagram page as well for brands that you love.
Yeah, there's a link in my bio which gives everybody's discount codes for the brands that I work with. All of them are sustainable. All of them are in line with what my page is about, and all are tried and tested, and now by a lot of people in my community, which is really nice. So yeah, that can all be found there.
Cool. So I'll get you on the show in 12 months, shall I, and see where you've gone.
Sounds great.
Cool. Great. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Beth. I really appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. I'll be back next week bringing more meditation, mindset, and motivation for your happy and successful life. To find out more about our community, go to tarachatzakis.com/happy, inspired, motivated.